Namaskar, this is Seshu Chira. Welcome you all back to Hamska Academy. Hope you all are understanding our concepts very well. So please subscribe up to our channel and help us to reach to more people. Today we are going to discuss about the efforts that are made by Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq in safeguarding their country or their kingdom against the Mongol invasions. Let us look at them. You can see here the comparison between the administration of Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq and how did they overcome or how did they handle the Mongolian invasions. So you can see here in the first point on the left hand side, we have the administration steps taken by Alauddin Khalji. On the right hand side, we have kept the administration steps taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Let us go step by step. In the first step, both of them have commonly increased the army. Alauddin Khalji increased the standing army to protect from invasion. Similarly, Muhammad bin Tughlaq also increased his army to attack on Transoxiana. So here Alauddin Khalji did not plan to attack. He is only planning on defensive measures. Whereas Muhammad bin Tughlaq want to attack the Transoxiana region and he increased the standing army. This is the fundamental difference what both the rulers have. So we have to make a note of this one. The second one, so once they increased the standing armies, you can see here, they have constructed a garrison town. Alauddin Khalji has constructed a garrison town named Siri. What is the name? Town name is Siri. For whom he constructed? For the soldiers he constructed. Because the number of soldiers are increased, they need a place to stay, so he constructed the garrison town, which is a temporary town for the soldiers known as Siri. Then coming to Muhammad bin Tughlaq did not construct any garrison towns like Alauddin Khalji. Then what did he do? He built 4 old port cities whichever are there that were evacuated. The people, those who are staying in the 4 oldest cities of Delhi or Delhi Kunha, that regions were evacuated and that were given to the soldiers. Then where did these residents go? The evacuated residents from the old city were relocated, were moved to the new capital, that is Daulatabad, in the south of Delhi. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq did not construct any garrison town, but he constructed a new capital and took all the people, those who are living in the old 4 cities of Delhi, to new capital city, that is Daulatabad, which is located in the southern part of Delhi. So this is the second difference how they handled it, where our Alauddin Khalji has constructed a garrison town and kept the soldiers without disturbing any of the other people living in that area. But here Muhammad bin Tughlaq has moved all the old people to the new people and he gave that old 4 cities to the army soldiers. This is the second step. Moving to the third step, soldiers were fed from the taxes which are collected from the lands of Ganga and Yamuna, or the lands between Ganga and Yamuna during Alauddin Khalji's time, and the tax was fixed at 50%. What is the percentage of tax fixed? 50%. Means half of the amount that is being produced. So the tax collected here is used to feed the soldiers. But when it comes to Muhammad bin Tughlaq's time, the tax collected from the area between Ganga and Yamuna region was used to feed the army. So they are using the same area. Why? Means that area is very fertile region. There you get lot of produce. So you can collect tax. But to meet the need of the large number of soldiers, the sultans levied additional taxes, which means he also kept additional taxes, including those areas which are suffering from famine. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq was also collecting the tax from the regions between Ganga and Yamuna, but they were also increase of taxes, and it was coincided with the terrible famines in that areas or few areas, which caused a lot of pain to the common people. This is the third point. So coming to the payment of the salaries to the soldiers, Alauddin Khalji has paid salaries in cash rather than in kind. Earlier it has to be paid in the form of ikta, but now they are not paying like that because all of them are in the Delhi region. So he used to pay them as cash, in the cash, not in the kind. Then these soldiers were to buy the supplies from the local market. As they are staying in Delhi, most of the people, they have to go to the region, market, local market, and buy the prices. These people are little bit scared because when you have large number of people coming and buying the same type of goods, naturally the merchants can increase the cost because there is a lot of demand. So automatically the cost can be increased. So what did Alauddin Khalji do? He controlled the prices of the goods. He kept a careful monitoring by the officers and controlled them. If the merchants did not sell at the prescribed rates, they are punished severely. So like that, Alauddin Khalji has paid the salaries in cash and also kept a ceiling on the prices. He never allowed them to increase the cost of the commodities, and he monitored it very, very carefully. Now let us move to the steps taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq also paid the salaries in cash, but he never focused on the controlling of the prices of the commodities. He introduced the token system without royal verification. So he introduced a new currency called the token currency. So it doesn't have an official verification, something which is like a paper currency what we use. But this is made up of a cheap metal when compared to gold and silver metal. During those days, the coins are made up of gold and silver. So here they are not made of gold and silver but of bronze. So they could not control the prices of the commodities and they could not have a control on the token currency which is being issued. So it can be duplicated very easily and there is no countersign or verification of the royalty there. So it led to people behaving like they used only the gold and silver coins to save their currency and paid all the taxes through the token currencies, which later Muhammad bin Tughlaq has recalled it. This is the fourth step. So the last step, Alauddin Khalji has administrative measures like military reforms, revenue reforms, and economic reforms, and he also regulated market where he was quite successful. Let us say it in the military reforms, revenue reforms, or the economic reforms. In any reform, what he has taken, before he takes any reform, he takes a careful survey of that. He studies in depth about that and then comes to a decision. So, most of the reforms what he has taken were quite successful and he successfully withstood the threat of the Mongolian invasions. So Alauddin Khalji's steps are mostly successful, and he can successfully withstand the threat of the Mongolian invasions. But coming to Muhammad bin Tughlaq now, his administrative measures like shifting of a capital, plan to invade Transaxonia, pardon with the pronunciation, and disbanded his large army, raising of taxes and famines in the Ganga Yamuna region belt led to widespread rebellion, and the token system were failure. So Alauddin Khalji steps were successful when it comes to Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Maybe it is untimely decisions, maybe, or he actually thought of something and happened in a different way. He shifted the capital. Basically, shifting the capital is a difficult task, Herculean task. I don't know why he got this idea, but this was a troublesome to the public also. He disturbed everyone's life. Then he planned to invade the Iranian region of Transaxonia, which is also a difficult one. And then he banded all his army, disbanded them, he recruited them, he disbanded them. He raised the taxes even during the time of famine in the Ganga Yamuna region itself, where people got angry against him and resulted in widespread rebellion. Adding on to this, he introduced a token system of currency, no regulation on the market. So all these measures were not so successful when compared to Alauddin Khalji's steps taken. So before we conclude, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was one of the most interesting personalities of the medieval Indian history because he is popularly called by scholars as an intelligent fool. It is an opinion of the scholars, not my opinion. I am just reading what the historians feel. While Alauddin Khalji was a well-known personality of the medieval India and is known as an efficient reformer and a mighty ruler. So here, when we compared Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Alauddin Khalji, both are rulers, no doubt. But the point here is untimely decisions made Muhammad bin Tughlaq an intelligent fool, while Alauddin Khalji timely decisions and perfectly doing a careful research, background work, and taking a firm decisions whenever it's needed before anything happens. So anticipating them and taking decisions made him as efficient, effective reformer and a mighty ruler. That's all we have in this video. Please subscribe and share your thoughts. Thank you.